What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Couple Things.
With Shawn and Andrew. Today, we're going to have a lot of fun, and it's going to be slightly embarrassing, probably mostly for me,
Okay.
maybe for some of those listening.
Okay.
We're going to be talking about the weirdest family traditions.
Okay.
I'll tell you why I thought of this.
Okay.
But first, we're going to go to the reviews and give some shout outs because Emma Kate Falkenbach says that this podcast has been a source of peace and inspiration to me. This podcast has helped me cultivate a positive relationship with my husband.
Yay.
And my favorite episodes in general have been the episodes that dove deep into what it's like to love each other well and communicate effectively in your marriage. That makes me feel good about this show. I'm not saying we are profound on this show, but I do like how we put some thought into how we navigate our relationship.
I will say that means a lot because every once in a while I find myself having like an existential crisis where I'm like, what are we doing?
What are we doing?
Why are people even listening to this? What are we talking about?
Everybody has a podcast. Why do we have a podcast too?
But then I'm like, you know what? I love you and I love our marriage and I love marriage and I love couples and I love relationships. And I think it's just kind of become us exposing our relationship to the world and our hot takes on it. And I think that's fine.
But it's a filtered and thoughtful.
Yeah.
We're not spewing all of our things.
So thank you.
And honestly, we've gotten so much better as a result of this show.
We have.
So, and then we have someone like Deborah who says, sometimes I feel like the way you both look at each other and laugh, the show ends and then you go back into the room and spar, is what she says. So.
There have been many episodes where, we've wanted to get at each other's throats.
But we try not to record. Actually, we don't record because it just wouldn't work if we're upset at each other. Except for that one that we did while we were in an argument, intentionally to record that. Remember?
Ooh, which one?
What?
I don't remember.
I guess Sean's mad more often than I thought. Anyway. What? No, that
what
one.
Does that
we did
mean?
Literally one episode that we've ever done.
I guess Sean's more mad than I thought.
Well, you said which one? There's literally been only in one time.
I don't remember ever recording one where we were like really in an argument.
It was called How We Argue or something like that.
Oh my gosh.
We'll have to go back. But it was literally like I budgeted.
Touch me, bro.
You know what video I want to film with you is
what?
Is just sharing each other's gripes while we're touching noses. Let me do it here, like an example.
I saw this.
Like, why does
your breath smell?
Why do you always empty the LaCroix cans and then put them in the sink instead of the trash can?
Your breath smells bad.
It's like brownies. I haven't eaten lunch yet.
That's what makes your breath smell bad?
Let's talk more about my bad breath. Thank you. All right. Why are we talking about weird family traditions? Well, we just had Thanksgiving.
Yep.
We have Christmas.
Yep.
Right around the corner. A lot of family traditions happening this time of year.
Oh, yeah.
And we do one. You share.
What?
You share. Our weird family Thanksgiving tradition.
The one?
For Thanksgiving. How many do we have? I'm curious what you're about to say now.
I was just thinking about family traditions. And this was like your idea of a script. And so I'm like just getting into it. I'm like, my brain's going wild.
Yeah.
I think you should share it because it's beautifully spoken the way you share how it originated.
So every Thanksgiving, my family, no matter where we're at, we have brothers that live in California. We live in Nashville, Indiana. We're all in our group chat, share pictures of us laying down in a street. And the game is kind of find the largest street you can to lay down in.
Yeah.
The thought and the reason it started is that on Thanksgiving, everyone has already traveled. They're already at their end destination. So the roads are quiet, especially like before 8 a.m. And you could lay down on a highway because there's so few cars. So back when I was like 10, my dad started doing this. He was just like giggly about how quiet the highways were. And so he was like, we could lay down in the road. And so next thing you know, we did. And now we do that every year.
We call it street laying.
Street laying. And the newest members of our family, like Shawn or my sisters-in-laws, are, a bit uneasy about it.
It takes a while to get bought in on it. I'm bought in now. We do it.
But it's kind of part of the family culture, which I think is why weird family traditions are important. Is it's like street laying is kind of what makes East East.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And everybody has that thing. And if you don't, you should start something weird, to be honest, because it's kind of fun. It's like the quirky little weird things that you do together as a family is what kind of makes the whole experience fun.
And I will say this. I feel like, especially as being someone who married into your family, the outlaws is what we call ourselves. At the time, like when I started dating you and like when I started going to holidays and early on in marriage, it almost never made sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I would kind of fight it sometimes and be like, why are we doing this? It's like negative 15 degrees. We have an infant now. You're wanting to do this on the interstate, whatever. But we did it every single year.
Yeah.
And it almost was like, just like a flip switched. The year after Dad died, it's like every single person woke up on Thanksgiving and we were like, we have to street lay.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I don't know how to articulate like the meaning behind that or if that's profound at all, but it's almost, it does symbolize traditions, a unity within your family that takes intention to like create. But once you're doing it, it is more meaningful than you realize. And I don't think I realized that until Dad was gone, of like, this is something that truly unifies our family in a beautiful way.
Yeah, because so it just starts off for whatever reason. Like start off because my dad had this thought, and then you do it, and then you keep on doing it, and the more you do it, the more meaning it has, and then the more meaning it has, the more identity your family has with it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And now, you know, when there's a new member to the family, it's like, yeah, this is just what we do, you know, and it's like that is what makes the family identity.
And there is something so special about, it depends on the year. We kind of alternate years where like families who live in California or Nashville or wherever will do like a year where everyone's doing Thanksgiving in their respective cities, towns, states, and then the next year everyone's in Indiana. And there's something so cool about even when we aren't together on Thanksgiving, seeing the family group chat be flooded with pictures of people laying in the streets all over the country is really fun.
It's hilarious. I think it's hilarious.
And people get called out. It's like, where's your picture? What are you doing? And it just makes you feel like such a family unit.
Yeah.
And I love that.
And we have a couple fun ones. Actually, I think I was asked, and we shared this in a newsletter, what our Christmas family traditions are. And I surprisingly had like a long list that I was able to pull together. I texted it to the whole group, the family chat. But one of them is like, you know, when we were kids, you wake up so excited that it's Christmas morning. And our parents would always make us wait in their room so that they could get things ready, whatever that meant, before we came out. So we'd all run in the room with matching PJs that my mom got us, which we still do to this day. And we laid on their bed. And so now we have all these in-laws.
No, this is a line that was crossed.
People are trying to push against it, but it's a family tradition.
No.
But I think it is fun because, you know, whether you're going on a first date and you're meeting someone new, or it's a new friend, or you're at like a work party and you're small talking, family traditions is like a fun thing to talk about. You know what I'm saying? This morning we had a work breakfast and everyone's kind of sharing their family traditions. And it's like, you really find something out about the people. It's like the quirkiness. It's like, oh, why would you lay on the street? It's like, well, let me tell you about my dad. He was like this funny guy, always had early morning, you know, and it like unlocks a lot of these derivative stories. So it might be worth, like, if you can't identify, if you're listening, you can't identify what your family traditions are, sit down with your parents or your siblings and I guarantee you that if you have a 5-minute conversation with them about, hey, what are some of the things that our family does that nobody else does? Mm-hmm. It's like you do something quirky, whether it be eat a certain meal every year, or Sally did that the Thanksgiving the turkey feathers. I love that.
One of our friends cuts out the shape of a turkey without the feathers, out of, you know, cardboard or paper or whatever. And then during every Thanksgiving dinner, no matter who is there, you have to write things that you're thankful for on each individual feather. And then you keep filling it until the turkey's full. And it was so sweet and precious. It was such a great idea.
Yeah. And the options are endless for what your family traditions could be, but identifying them and writing them down, or like at least having a conversation with the people in your family about them, actually does have an effect of bringing awareness to it. And then like there's a certain excitement or like a sense of humor about it almost, where you're like, oh yeah, that is kind of weird. And then you kind of want to do it more because it's like a bonding thing, you know?
I will never forget the first year, us outlaws. I was still a dating outlaw by then. Went running, following our boyfriends and husbands into your parents' bedroom where your mom and dad were still in bed. And us outlaws were just standing at the foot of the bed like, ain't no way I'm jumping into bed with my boyfriend's parents.
Well, originally it was just like 7 people, which was a lot because there's 5 kids. And then it's grown quickly.
It got weird, me being in bed with your mom and dad.
Anyway, so, all right. We asked social media to share your family traditions, weird or not. And the results came back with a wide range. So some are simple. They're like simple everyday practices to elaborate annual celebrations. Some are more kind of quirky. But I do feel like these activities that you have shared that we're talking about are really more than just customs. They're actually opportunities for families to bond, share values through, and create memories together.
I will also say, when it comes to traditions, even if you don't have any, sit down and start writing some out, and it can be so simple. But we've already noticed with our 5-year-old and our 3-year-old how much traditions mean to them. Drew at 5, so one of the traditions in the East family is we ride this train in Indiana every Christmas.
At a hardware store.
It's at a hardware store, but it's the coolest thing ever. But even in like March of a given year, she'll be like, I can't wait for the Christmas train. And in her mind, there are so many core memories and values around that. And she knows that the train, she's going to get to see her cousins and her Nana. And like, it means a lot to kids, and it gives them things to hold on to that I think are very, very valuable.
Yeah.
Okay.
Something else.
Yes.
There's research behind this that says for children, family traditions offer stability in a constantly changing world, and knowing that birthdays will always be celebrated in a certain way, or that the holidays mean a certain ritual takes place, actually gives the kid a sense of predictability and safety, which is kind of interesting.
It also says the consistency helps foster emotional security, which is crucial in early childhood development.
Family traditions also help with building a sense of identity and strengthening family bonds.
Dude.
It's like, I mean,
That's what it's about.
It's so easy to gloss over, and it's hard to grasp the side effects of having a sense of identity. But like, we went to this wedding this weekend, and they're up there with their parents at the altar talking about stories of their grandparents, their great grandparents. And it's like that family has such a strong sense of identity.
They know who they are and what they stand for.
Yeah, and it's almost like a fast forward button in life, and maybe is the effect that it has, where it's like, oh, I don't need to reinvent the wheel of who I am and what I'm here for. It's like, my grandpa did this, my dad did this, I'm an extension of this. Anyway, it's pretty deep. So a challenge for you if you don't have any family traditions or didn't grow up doing any, that is totally fine. It's a great time to start something new, and would love for you to try out a new holiday tradition this season and then report back to us how it goes. That'd be really fun. So make up something weird and do it.
Also, we're going to go through a bunch of these that you guys submitted. This will be a clear indication that you can come up with anything.
Yeah.
Traditions don't have to be like cliche and romantic or cute or whatever. They can truly just be odd. And I actually think the weirder the better, because kids get such a kick out of it.
Yeah, I think an element of unexpectedness and an element of togetherness are the two things that, when I think of our family traditions, are identified. You know what I'm saying?
I just read a couple of these. These are great.
I'm excited. All right, so let us know in the comments which tradition you think is the absolute weirdest. But without further ado, let's roll into these. We have 35, so maybe we'll do a part 1, part 2. But Let's get started.
Megan.
Ooh, should we say the full names?
No.
Okay, just say the first name.
Sorry, Megan. This one is Megan. She says the Easter Bunny brings everyone cereal for Christmas in my house.
Hilarious.
I'm
trying to think.
But I like the crossover.
Yeah, kind of a shout out to to the other holiday. I like it.
Very random, very random.
I love that.
Yeah.
I've never heard of anybody cross-pollinating holiday.
Holiday.
I like it a lot.
It's like the leprechaun just snuck in there too.
Thank you for submitting that, Megan. All right, Nancy says that every year my grandpa would present a golden spray painted stick to the person that caused the most drama and issues throughout the year. Everyone was terrified to be the one that received it. He even tied a big red bow on it. Since he passed away, we no longer do it, but the stick still sits at my grandma's house as a reminder of Christmases with him.
That's comical.
That is pretty great.
So whoever caused the most drama and ish got the golden spray painted stick. That's funny.
What a great way to process through difficult times, you know.
Be like,
Just
you know it's coming to you this year.
put it all out there.
Yeah.
Everyone can laugh about it. Celebrate it with a weird trinket.
Kendra says, instead of Christmas cards, we do 4th of July cards.
I like it.
Very random.
I love that.
I love it. But my question is, do you send 4th of July cards on Christmas?
No, or
are they sending cards on the 4th of July?
Also, I want one, Kendra, so please send it to
Okay.
us. I'm excited. Tash says that my mom's family is huge, and at Christmas, whoever has a new boyfriend or girlfriend must have them stand on their chair and state their intentions while we all cheer them on and ask questions. We're also loud, so this is usually boisterous and fun. I love it.
I love this.
State your intentions.
Wait, can I just say something? Okay. So something that I love so much about Andrew's family is like, we are a unit. And any boyfriends or girlfriends coming into the family, it means business. It's not like you choose who you choose. No, the family has, I don't want to say like a say in it, but we are such a close-knit family that they have to fit in with our family.
Yeah, it's almost like, you know, they're the popular vote, and then the actual person who's dating them is kind of like the electoral college. So there's
Yes.
some consideration there.
But I actually love this because you're getting such a clear like vision and insight into what the family's like. I think it's great.
Yeah, it is great.
Susie. Oh.
Yeah, go ahead, Susie. Quit blasting these people.
Susie says, after my dad passed, we needed a new tradition. We decided to have themed Christmases, including food and costumes in
Love
theme.
that.
We've had tacky garage sale Christmas, Jimmy
Wow.
Buffett Christmas, cowboy Christmas, carnivore Christmas,
What?
Tex-Mex Christmas, complete with a piñata, and Christmas by the sea with surf and turf and ocean creature costumes, just to name a few. This year's theme is probably my favorite, Snoop and Martha. I love
Wow.
it.
Dang.
Food has to be something from one of their cookbooks. It's pretty strange, but also so much fun. Everyone from my 96-year-old grandfather to my 7-year-old daughter participates.
I'm just going to say this might be one of my favorite episodes we've ever done so far.
This is cool.
I am really enjoying this.
I love it.
And I'm also inspired. I'm like, dude.
Same.
I had this thought at the wedding this weekend. It was like a costume. Or there was dress themes.
Yeah.
Unique. So it was like all white for the rehearsal dinner, all black for the wedding. And Shawn and I were leaving the hotel room dressed up, and it's like, there are phases of life where you're busy with whatever and you don't want to spend time on making whatever costume. You don't want to spend time on carnivore Christmas or putting thought into that, right? Or trying to find an all white suit. But it's like, it's almost a gauge of, it's so much fun. You know what I'm saying? It is so much fun, and it's important too. So I'm glad we had the opportunity to do that. And this is great.
Speaking of this wedding, to see like the all white and then the all black and like the extremes of the wedding, to see 400 people fly across the world to this wedding and be so bought in was so inspirational as like a family unit.
Yeah.
I was like, this is incredible.
Shout out Nicole and Greg.
Yeah.
All right. Marcia says that we have a contest to see who can gain the most weight on Thanksgiving. Weigh in before and after. Winner gets to wear the turkey cape for a year. Wow. That's great.
That is interesting.
I dig it.
Coming from a family
love it.
who runs a turkey trot, I don't think that's our vibe, but I like it.
I think there would be pushback from our family on that, but more power to you.
Jessica says this isn't a holiday tradition, but my sister, dad, and I would put our hands in a huddle like they did in the show Love and Marriage and yell our last name every night before bed. Whoa.
You just said their last name again.
She wrote it. Whoa, Johnson's.
That's great. I dig it. Bethany says, my husband's family makes an annual 6-foot sandwich.
That's sick.
There's a board that everyone signs every year. The men and boys make the sandwich on the board, and then we saran wrap it and carry it around the house while singing a made-up song. Ding, ding, dong, 6 feet long. It's our Christmas song. Join our throng. Name of someone carrying the sandwich. I love it. Come and sing along. Hey, we keep singing the song until we've gone through everyone's names. That's our Christmas Eve dinner, and it's everyone's favorite tradition. Wow.
What? That is absolutely ridiculous and amazing.
Let me sing the song. Ding, ding, dong, 6 feet long. It's our Christmas song. Join our throng. Shawn, come and sing along. Hey!
What?
I like it. I like it.
Taylor says, growing up, we would always host Thanksgiving at our house. There are 6 of us kids, so my dad would grab a football, take us to Dunkin' Donuts, and then park at the rest stop to play and eat donuts so that my mom could clean the house and do Thanksgiving prep. Over 30 years later, we still meet my dad at the rest stop for donuts the morning of Thanksgiving.
That makes me want to cry a little bit
that.
for some reason. Dang.
For some reason.
The food one, the 6 feet long sandwich, we recently started this tradition of doing smash burgers on Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
Where we'll do, my brothers and I are the chefs.
It's the best.
Steak and Shake is like a place in Indiana, maybe the whole Midwest, but they make these delicious burgers. And so we'll get the hats on and everything, wear aprons, and we have this whole assembly line of, it's a blast. It's so much fun. All right, next. Anna says, we hide baby Jesus from the nativity scene until he's born on Christmas. We wear yellow underwear on New Year's Eve, and we roll suitcases around on New Year's Day to bring travel in the new year. Funny.
Interesting.
Funny.
Rihanna says, every Halloween, my husband's family orders hundreds of chicken wings, and it's a competition who can eat the most wings. There's no prize or incentive at all. I think it's just an excuse to eat a ton of wings.
Fantastic. That's so good.
There are so many. This is amazing.
Stephanie says, when we have summer vacations, my family has an annual banana toss competition. Apparently, several years ago, my mother-in-law accidentally bought 10 bundles of bananas, and my in-laws didn't want to waste them, so they had a banana toss competition. Now they go all out with custom 2024 banana toss champion medals for the winner and everything. The old banana toss. Wait, what is a banana toss, though? How do you win?
I don't know. I'm curious. Does it have like the peel on it or not?
Is it like an egg toss where as long as it doesn't pop open?
Maybe if it like doesn't, I don't know.
Make your own rules. Go for it.
Lori says, I dated a guy whose whole family would meet and visit an elderly relative's grave at the cemetery every year. They took multiple group family photos around the grave and then would play games like Grave and Seek. Who could find the oldest grave, newest grave, strangest name, etc. while being timed? I just kept thinking I was being punked. Then they would eat pizza and leave.
It's like graveyards to me I don't like enjoy spending time there, but I kind of appreciate, I'm in this group, this like men's group with a bunch of fun people, and they're big on writing your eulogy and thinking about your death, which kind of builds an appreciation for Day of the Dead, like Dia de los Muertos, and kind of Latin America countries. This maybe has that effect, but I don't need to freaking psychoanalyze this.
I was going to say, yeah, we can keep moving on.
Yeah, great. All right. Kaylee says, every 4th of July, my family explodes a watermelon using only rubber bands. We put multiple rubber bands around the middle of the watermelon until the pressure builds up so much it explodes. This started back in 2012 when it was just the trendy thing to do, and we had so much fun it became a tradition.
Love it.
That's great.
Anonymous says, every year in the fall when the garden is done, we chuck rotten tomatoes and cucumbers at each other outside, of course. This Thanksgiving, my 82-year-old mother started a food fight in the kitchen, and it quickly escalated. Wow. Cool Whip cake, sprinkles, applesauce, mashed potatoes flung through the air. A Thanksgiving to remember.
Wow. I like that one. Carrie says, every time someone is sick in my family, we gift them Miss Grass chicken noodle soup, Sprite, medicine, and a pair of 6 socks. 6 socks are the weird part, but even as adults, my kids expect this. It's just new fuzzy socks that make your feet toasty while everything else hurts or is cold.
I like
thoughtful. That's thoughtful.
Lisa says, my family opens all of our Christmas gifts at the same exact time. That's
chaos. It's great. Lauren says, my husband's family has always had salmon for breakfast on birthdays and holidays. Why? I'm not sure. No one has ever seemed to be able to give me an answer as to why, but it's tradition. I do like the salmon though, so it works even if I don't understand it.
Interesting.
That's great.
Every birthday and holiday.
That's great.
Huh. Mariah says we do Christmas at my grandparents' 150-year-old house with 18 people, and their house only has one bathtub. So we play basketball every Christmas Eve at the rec center so that we can use the rec center showers.
Wow.
That's funny.
Sarah says we hide a pickle ornament in the Christmas tree on Christmas Eve. The first kid to find it in the morning gets an extra gift. The extra gift is always a family gift, like an experience, a movie gift card, a staycation, etc. It's become a family favorite.
Love
Wait.
this.
They said several people said this.
Wait, what? Hiding a pickle ornament?
No, maybe it's just like you hide an ornament. Is it specifically a pickle ornament that people do? No way.
Several
Anyway.
people said this.
The extra gift is great. I like that.
Allie, my grandmother makes the best spaghetti, but we cannot eat it without our famous tradition of making it into spaghetti sandwiches.
Ooh, talk to me.
We use white sunbeam bread, spread butter on one slice of bread, put spaghetti noodles and sauce on the bread, and fold the slice in half. It makes the fancy Italian meal very casual and American, but we love it.
I want to try that out right now.
Funny.
I'm in. I feel like I want to pull some of these traditions into our calendar, you know? Chelsea says, we buy an inappropriate book like Barbara's Beaver Needs a Trim.
Just finish reading it. You're going to die. Just finish reading it.
Oh my gosh. Oh, Chelsea. Thank you for this. Okay. We buy an inappropriate book like Barbara's Beaver Needs a Trim, and we make I'm about to cry. We make the newest addition to the family read it at Christmas, like a cousin's like a cousin's significant other, new boyfriend, etc. It's hilarious. Oh my gosh.
Wow.
I'm literally tearing up.
That is quite the way to...
I read that without digesting the words
Yep.
as they were coming out of my mouth. And then
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, this is ridiculous. What's fun about this is like as I'm reading, I'm like, I like that. I'm gonna take that, but adjust this, and like
Yeah.
I'm like thinking how I could tweak it so that our family
Yeah.
would love it. But anyway,
Megan says, instead of Thanksgiving foods, we eat traditional Mediterranean in honor of foods Jesus would have had. We used to do this closer to Christmas, but with growing families, we have replaced it with Thanksgiving. We try to limit electricity and also eat on the floor.
Oh, interesting. I bet there's backstory to that.
Huh.
Interesting.
I like it.
Just limit electricity. I dig it. Ruth, our family always eats Christmas Eve dinner together at Pizza Hut. My grandfather chose it in the 70s when my grandmother didn't want to cook on Christmas Eve one year, and we've done it ever since, even after he passed.
This reminds me of, so last year we had just had Bear, our third baby. So we couldn't travel for Christmas. And we went to Hibachi on Christmas Eve, and it was packed.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember asking our waitress, like, is this normal? And she said Christmas Eve is their busiest day of the entire year.
Yeah.
Which goes to show like tradition. People probably do that every year.
Man, I love hibachi. Are we going to do that again, you think?
No, because we'll be in Indy.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no.
No, we won't.
Oh,
maybe we do hibachi. Got the tradition on the books, baby.
I mean, I love it. Olivia says we do a fondue family dinner for Valentine's Day.
Wow.
Oh, that's sweet.
That's kind of tough to do, isn't it? Fondue is not an
That
easy.
is not
like,
easy.
You have to heat the oil and then...
Or chocolate or cheese or...
No, if it's a whole family dinner, though. You got to cook the chicken.
We don't know.
What's that chain fondue restaurant? You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I've ever been there. Date night. Great. Okay. Anonymous says... We save up our money and then pick a family in need and doorbell ditch the gift of cash and then hide to watch them get it.
Oh,
I dig it.
love that. Rachel, my family gifts around an old enema bag that was my grandmother's.
No.
They found it after she passed away and started wrapping it up for each other at Christmas. Whenever you got a gift at Christmas that didn't say who it was from, you would wonder if it was the bag. Later on, they found a aunt's thong.
Oh my
Tag still on. And now they gift that too.
Wow.
That is gross.
Wow. Ugh.
Ooh.
Amy says, my family eats pie for lunch on Thanksgiving. My mom always felt like after dinner, you are too full to eat all the pie flavors you want. So she came up with this tradition. Each year, we do about 6 to 9 flavors of pie.
What?
Yummy. Yummy. So it's only pie. No turkey.
That's it.
Okay. Amy has another one.
Okay. For birthdays, my family does this saying before every gift is given where we hold the gift over the birthday person's head and say a chant. Then bonk them with it or hand them the gift. The chant is, heavy, heavy hangs over your poor head. What are you going to do with it? Then the birthday person says that they think what they think they will do with the gift. Eat it, throw it, feed it to the dog, etc. If they guess right, the gift gets handed to them. If not, they get bonked before the gift gets handed to them. My mom came up with a lot of weird traditions to keep things fun and interesting.
Funny. Huh. I like the guessing aspect of it.
Yeah.
Stephanie says, we eat cinnamon rolls with gravy on Christmas morning. Don't knock until you try it. Perfect sweet and savory mix. Also, growing up, we always went to the zoo on Christmas Eve.
Cinnamon rolls with gravy.
I feel like cinnamon roll. Oh, the monkey bread for us.
Yeah. I did monkey bread for breakfast on Christmas Day every year of my life. Aaron, my dad always had us celebrate Groundhog Day. He would bring us a special lunch at school and go visit Woodstock, Illinois, where the movie Groundhog Day was filmed. That's cute.
Wow. Brittany, we don't use any kind of silverware or plates on Christmas Day. We just get some disposable tablecloths and throw everything on there. The kids love it and very little cleanup for mom.
What?
I want to do it. I think that's a fantastic idea.
That sounds cool, but I'm thinking like soupy green beans. What are you doing?
No. Don't overthink it. You do it. You put the spaghetti on the tablecloth.
Just think about Jet.
They would love it.
Do it. Kaylee says on our birthdays, we get our nose buttered. So whoever's birthday it is, you always sneak attack them when they're eating breakfast or dinner and butter their nose.
Wow. I think I would like that. You know?
Yeah.
Think about a little butter on your nose. Belky, my husband is in charge of filling our stockings for Christmas. So he just goes to the pantry and kitchen and tries to find things that we would all like. Anything goes. Black beans for Vicky, a banana for Alina, ramen noodles for Louisa, canned peaches for me, green chilies for himself. Anything goes, and it's so fun. That's hilarious. A couple that come to mind. One of the things we do as a family is every year for Christmas, we all make these little custom plates.
Oh, yeah.
Where you draw on a piece of paper, like a plate design, and then you ship it to a company, they make it a plate. And we have dozens of these.
They're amazing.
Fun. It's so fun. It's like, that's the only plates we use at my mom's house.
Aren't they called make a plate?
I think that's right.
Yeah.
And it takes whatever, like a half hour, but you go through the stack and you're like, wow, I remember that year. And then the stocking tradition in our house is my dad always used to put a book about hydration in our stocking because he loved water and hydrating. And then recently, I guess it was like 5 years ago, they discovered Fireball whiskey. Do you remember?
Yes.
They went to a wedding and someone gave them a Fireball shot, and they were like, my parents came back, they're like, you wouldn't believe it. There's this, have you heard of Fireball?
Your mom was so into it. And they like don't drink any alcohol of any kind.
But now they give us a little Fireball shot in our stockings for the adults, obviously.
Yes. Last one. Wow. Cassidy says, every year we buy these certain holiday napkins that smell terrible. We keep them packaged until Christmas Day so the smell can't air out. Right before our big lunch, we open them and pass them around to the entire family, and everyone has to take a sniff. We all know they smell terrible, but we still do it just so we can all yell and laugh about it.
Hilarious. Oh my gosh. That was a blast.
That was a blast.
I want to do like a part 2. So keep sending in the weird traditions. We'll ask again on social media. But thank you again to everyone who sent these family traditions in. The one I thought was the weirdest was the enema bag. And
that was weird. I agree with that.
Yeah.
The enema bag is a little...
And I don't feel bad saying that because I think they know it's weird.
Because that's like been up in there, you know?
Well, I don't think... Maybe it's not a used enema bag, you know? We don't know.
We don't know. Also, just to list out a few of the things that we do, since you guys, I'm sure, will ask. let's talk Christmas. We do the hardware store train, smash burgers on Christmas Eve.
Do you want me to go through our list?
Yeah.
This is all in the newsletter.
We do gingerbread houses. We always do a competition where all the adults and all the kids get thrown into a bowl and you like pick your teams. And then we do a competition of who can do the best gingerbread house.
Mm-hmm.
Nana is the one that chooses the winner.
Yep.
What else do we do? We do matching PJs. Christmas Day, we all run upstairs and it's just like a massive explosion of presents. You just rip and tear.
Kids do a nativity reenactment.
Yes.
Do a Christmas Eve service with the candles. It's always a hit. Watch A Wonderful Life.
Mm-hmm.
We do cookie decorating with all the cousins.
Oh, yeah.
And then Shawn and I have specific traditions to us, like our Christmas experience slideshows. We go to Opryland Lights. We do Elf on the Shelf, which is a blast.
Also, the slideshow, because I'm sure we'll get questions. So Andrew and I don't do gifts for each other on Christmas. Instead, we will talk about it at some point when it starts to get close to holiday season. What are we going to do this year for our slideshow presentation? So this year, we have decided that we're going to go on a big family trip, similar to what we did with like Paris and Italy and London this year. We enjoyed traveling with our kids that much that we want to do it again next summer. And so next summer, each of us are going to deep dive and plan. We have chosen the southeastern hemisphere pretty much. But we will each put together a big slideshow of what we think the perfect trip would be. And then after we present that to each other, we each get to like pick little pieces and parts from each other's slideshow. And then we'll put together our big family trip for next year.
It's fun because every time Shawn and I travel, it's completely unplanned. We just went to Mexico City. We sat down at lunch after we landed. And we just said, what do we want to do while we're here? And like literally, and it only takes us 3 minutes to find what we want to do. We booked this epic hot air balloon experience. We'll tell you about that later. But this is fun, this tradition, because we act almost like travel agents to each other.
Yeah.
And design like, hey, you really got to dig in. And it's fun to learn about her because she'll pick out, I want to do a whatever painting class. You're like, okay, sweet. And then you find that and you kind of like, it's like a pitch. It's fun.
It is really fun.
Anyway, thanks for listening as always, you all. This is a blast. I love that we get to do this. I love that we've been doing it for so long. I love the feedback that we get from you all. Just a little thought for you all before we sign off. I like to listen to my podcast on YouTube because of the comment section, mainly, I think. Because it feels like an interactive experience rather than someone just talking to me. So if you are watching on YouTube, please leave a comment because that's what makes this fun. And if you're listening on podcasts, maybe jump over to YouTube real quick and leave a comment. But I just want to say that because stuff like this, it's really fun when we get a conversation started around it. So please do that. And also have a wonderful day. Thank you for listening. I'm Andrew.
I'm Shawn.
We'll see you next time.